Hey there, this is JamiroFan 2000. Welcome to another episode of JamiroFan Talks About, where I basically talk about the 24-year-long discography of JamiroQuai. And like last episode, was discussing the 2006 JamiroQuai album Dynamite. Now we come to their last album, but their first album under a new record deal they would sign in 2007 with Universal Music. And the album would be called Rock Dust Light Star. And it was a bit of a return to form for the band, for their live sound. And J.K. said in many interviews during this time that he wanted to do an album, a new album, that sounded what they sounded like live. And they totally hit the mark with Rock Dust Light Star. But I should note that the promotions of this album under their new record deal with Universal Music was terrible. Was terrible for the fans, and I'll basically tell you why. The album was released in 2011 in the UK. It was released in Asia in 2011. Was not released in the United States. This would be the first JamiroQuai album not to be released in the United States in the year of its release. Which, you know, given that at the time the internet was the thing, you could easily get this album. But many JamiroQuai fans like to have the physical. I like to have the physical album. They like to have the physical single. And this album would end up being released 3 years later in 2013, or sorry, 2 years later in 2013, as a record store. There's a holiday for independent record stores in the United States, or the United States and Europe, called Record Store Day. It's basically a holiday that was created to get people out to buy music, the old physical style music. And on that day, they would do special releases for like all like famous bands and stuff, and like singles and albums and reissues and repressings, all that sort. So in 2013, they made one of the exclusive releases in the United States only for Rock Dust Light Star for JamiroQuai's album. So we had to wait. People who wanted a physical copy of the new JamiroQuai album, Rock Dust Light Star, had to wait 2 years in the United States to get a copy. And it was released in a limited run on CD, but mostly on vinyl. They put out a double-bound vinyl, which was cool. I mean, it was really unique release. Never seen that before. The artwork, the original artwork for the UK release was JK, and it was taken at, I believe, Be Live, one of the concerts, and so you see all the fans behind him. This release just had a spray-painted Buffalo Man on a wall, which, you know, it's cool. I mean, it's cool fan art. It's a good idea. But we had to wait 2 years for the album to come out. But enough of my complaining of the releasing process of Universal Music out of the way. Let's talk about the album. It was just a return to form for JamiroQuai, and this return, and when I mean to refer to return to form, it was a return to how they sound, how great they sound live. And this was technically an unofficial live album. And the songs on it were so good. The best songs on the album, probably White Knuckle Ride, because it reminded me so much of Traveling Without Moving, just being in a car, driving really fast, and just having a great time. The beautiful, beautiful heartfelt ballad, Blue Skies, and my personal favorite, and probably my favorite JamiroQuai song of the new sound, which started, of course, as I said in the previous video, with Synchronized and the tail end of Traveling Without Moving. But two completely different things. Song Two Completely Different Things is so good. So good. And that brought me back those goosebumps that I had when I was listening to the early JamiroQuai. And I rarely have goosebumps when I listen to old JamiroQuai. I listen to old JamiroQuai, I get goosebumps. But this track, they brought it back hardcore. And it was so good. And you know, it would be pretty much critically ignored. This album was not reviewed. It was reviewed by maybe a few pop mainstream magazines that had the room to fit, but ultimately it was ignored. It was ignored. And you know, many old JamiroQuai fans like me still think that the band deserves a lot more recognition that they got or currently get. You know, because the mainstream mentality towards Jamiroquai, as I said in a previous video, is of a one-hit wonder or a two-hit wonder, which is completely unfair, because those people just didn't have the time or have the fortitude to go back and listen to the stuff and actually soak it all in, see how amazingly varied this band was, and how more critically acclaimed they should have been with each preceding album. But you know, so this leads me into the 8th Jamiroquai album, which is been rumored and had so many release dates thrown left and right. Started out in, I believe it was 2015, late 2015. We got the first news it was coming out in 2016. Then it was 2017, and now we have 3 band members, Sola Kimball, Matt Johnson, and Paul Turner, saying it's coming out November 4th, and the first single's coming out in mid-September sometime. So this is an exciting time. This is one of the reasons why I came back to doing videos on YouTube, on VidMe about Jamiroquai, because I've been following the band for over 24 years, and every time a new Jamiroquai album comes up, it's just an exciting time. And you know, I'm hoping these new videos I'm doing bring a lot of more fans back into discussions, bring a lot of people back into appreciating Jamiroquai as much as I try to. And you know, this new series, I'm hopeful will bring a lot of more eyes, a lot of new fans into the amazing music of Jamiroquai. So that's my main hope. But yeah, that's about it. That's me talking about all the albums, all 7 albums, nearly 23 years of amazing music. And for my next few episodes, I'll probably start talking about choice singles by Jamiroquai. Single tracks, not album, not EPs or anything, just single songs, which I believe really represent the band and just tell amazing stories. And Jamiroquai have a lot of tracks that tell amazing stories. So be sure to tune in and check those out when I get them recorded and up, whenever that is, sometime soon. But back to the original topic. What are your thoughts of the Jamiroquai album Rock This Light Star? What are your favorite tracks from the album? Please leave your comments and thoughts in the comments section of this video down below. And I'll see you again really soon with another JamiroFan Talks About. Bye!